So I'm on my way to Pilchuck Veterinary Hospital to get Whizkey's arthroscopy surgery done. What that is essentially a diagnostic surgery in nature. They get into the stifle so they can actually really get to see what is going on. With the x-rays and the ultrasounds that we've done, there was, it's just the cruciate ligament is in such a difficult spot to get good imaging of. So this surgery should allow the doctor to see what the extent of the damage is to that ligament. So there is a little bit of debridement that they can do while they're in there, which essentially cleans up any cartilage type broken bits that are in there. So what the debridement does is it can clean up some of the fragmented cartilage that might be present in there, and that can actually aid in healing, I've been told. So there's a possibility of not only finding out diagnostically what we're looking at here, but potentially having some sort of fix-it kind of thing from it. So what I've been prepared with is that depending on the extent of the injury, the ligament, if it's completely severed or blown, then the likelihood of him ever going back into any work is pretty small. But a lot of, from what we've read, cruciate ligaments can have about a 50% recovery rate after this surgery. So, it really just depends on what's going on in the individual horse. So it's a last-ditch effort on my insurance claim for this injury, and I kind of figured I'd rather know what we're looking at than to just let him sit for 6 more months and guess and hope that in that amount of time something changes. I'd rather, if it's going to be something bad or something good, I'd rather just know now. So I am on my way now to drop him off. They're actually going to perform the surgery tomorrow, and then I'll pick him up the day after that. So there won't be a whole lot of exciting footage, being as I can't be there for the procedure, but I'll try and share as much information as I can. Well, we arrived, and now we're just gonna unload Wiz and wait for a tech. Callie got to come with. Hi, baby. I just got a phone call from the surgeon who was basically just calling me to tell me that Whizkey was originally scheduled to be first on the table today, but he, I guess, has some sort of irregular heartbeat. So he called his regular vet to see her opinion on that, and I guess she noted that she's noticed it before, actually have not heard about that, so it's a little bit concerned. But he and his current vet believe that he should be okay to go under, and so now he's all prepped and should be starting the arthroscopy in about an hour, and I'll get a phone call when he's awake with the news. The doctor mentioned that he has 3 different sites that he wants to look at in the arthroscopy, including on the patellar, which we hadn't noted before, and some shadowing that he might think is some cartilage damage. So he's going to look at all these different points in there, which of course is the whole point of doing all of this. And he said that if at all possible, there will be some debridement to clean up, and it's a slightly therapeutic component to the surgeries. Okay, I got the phone call back from Dr. Lilac at Pilchuck, and Whizkey is in recovery. So the procedure went fine, even with the regular heartbeat. So I'm super relieved about that. Results from his findings was that he actually has a medial meniscus tear, not to the cruciate ligament like originally diagnosed. The medial side of the meniscus cannot be seen on the ultrasound from the angle, so that's why we couldn't really see anything with the imaging. So now we know for sure what the damage is. He did clean up some of what he saw in there. He said he saw some fibrous fronds, which he said essentially means that the joint has seen some action. Cleaned that up. He did look at the patella. He said the kneecap kind of area is maltracking. It kind of has some side-to-side action going on. It also had some cartilage damage going on. And he said essentially it just looks fuzzy. Another, like, just this joint has seen a lot of action. And of course, being reining horses, they do really utilize that stifle joint a lot. He asked when the last images were, with the x-ray images. They were April 26th, and he said, well, actually from the x-rays that he took today, he can see that there's actually been some healing that's been done already. And that's promising, because 2 months ago he was like a 1 out of 5 on a lameness exam, and last week he was like a 3 out of 5. So I was kind of getting worried and freaked out, like, why does it seem like he's getting more lame with rest? He actually believes that there's been no damage to the cruciate ligament, and Whizkey will in fact need more walking. So an actual rehab protocol, he's going to write that up for me, but he said to at least right now on the phone, he might need up to a year of rest, or rest with a combo of rehab, but it'll be a long time until he starts getting back into maneuvers. I did ask him kind of point blank, like, with the extent of this damage, what that might look like for his career. I said he's a regional championship winner. He's been to nationals. That's kind of the level that he's been at. He works really closely with some of the folks up at Rhodes River Ranch here in Washington, and they're really big time competitors too. So he said, yeah, I understand, you know, the level of competitiveness with seeing those horses there. He said, though, you know, every individual is different depending on how they recover. But I should be able to continue with a goal of doing at least affiliate levels with him. So the kind of same stuff I'm doing now, just maybe not the big Vegas trips or trips to Oklahoma again. We'll see. You know, I'm just honestly going to be so happy if I can ride him again, if he is sound, you know, not just for you know, loping around a little bit here and there, a 4-H level kind of thing. Just knowing that I might be able to show him again, even in a slightly less competitive capacity, is super, super exciting for me. I'm really, really pleased to hear that. All right, now that I've gained my composure back a little bit, again, he doesn't have a full rehab protocol for me at this time. He'll have one when I pick him up tomorrow morning. But he said going forward, if I have access to an underwater treadmill, that'd be good. Quadricep work for him, cardio. The quadricep work is, you know, going up and down hills, incorporating some pulls and cavaletti works, some things that really make him lift his legs up straight. He did comment, he asked if he was Shining Spark bred. And I said, no, actually he's Topsail Whiz, but why do you mention that? Because my new girl Chica is, she's Shining Spark on the dam side. So I was curious to see what it was that he thought with that comment. And he just said, kind of, you know, he was a little bit PC about it, but he felt like that they bred a lot of them, that there's, you know, great ones still as long as their conformation is good. He said, just really make sure that that mare has good angles to her stifles and hocks, and that they're not too straight. So, you know, that being said, maybe that's just more a quarter horse thing. I mean, the reining world is difficult for these joints and these kinds of injuries too. So I'm just going to keep that kind of in the back of my head, not get too fixated on his comment about that. But we'll see, you know, what Chica does as she gets going. And then lastly, for maintenance going forward, he wouldn't need steroidal injections to that area. He wants to stick with a more biologic injection in nature. So I think that means like some of the Prostride type treatments for the future maintenance with him. So all in all, I mean, he said he's seen a lot worse, that he believes he'll make a recovery. It's just if I'm going to be willing to give him the time, which of course I will be. So I'm just thrilled that this wasn't, you know, the opposite sort of news. So anyway, I'm going to pick him up tomorrow and fill you in on the new rehab protocol. All right, we're all loaded up, ready to head home. He's got just some shaving here on his stifle, and then right here where the catheter was on his neck. So, but the girls that brought him out said that he was a favorite and he was a really good boy. So that's always good to hear when your child is good for everybody else. So we'll head home and review his rehab schedule. Okay, now that his stall is all done, the rehab protocol for Whizkey, I'm going to try and make sure I have all of this information correct. For the first 30 days back home from post-op, Dr. Lillick wanted him to stay in a regular stall. So 30 days back on stall rest. We just had come off of it and had 30 days in the small paddock, but I'm totally willing to take the time to have him go back a little bit so we can go forward. So he can continue hand walking today. So we'll continue with the 15-minute walks daily during this 30-day stall rest. And then after the 30 days, for the next 30, he can have the small paddock back. And at that time, we can start increasing his walks to 30 minutes a day. And there'll be a little period of time there, probably in the next 2 weeks, we'll all start slowly adding in another 5 minutes, because by 30 days from now, he can be at 30 minutes. So I don't just want to go from 15 one day up to 30. So we're going to do a gradual increase up to 30, but that's the general baseline for when. In 14 days, he can have his sutures taken out by the vet. So also at a week from then, so 3 weeks from now, he wants him to have a course of Adequan. So that'll be the first week of August that we can do the Adequan. He didn't give a period of time. He just says with these types of injuries and recoveries, using a plasma-rich, basically like the Prostride, it's called a PRB, that he says I should really consider adding that in again. I'll have to look at when my current vet wants to do that and finances with all of this on when we can do another course of that. Even if my insurance was extended and I could squeeze that in sometime, the rest of my coverage is being used on this surgery. So 12 weeks from today, which I already marked on the calendar, is October 21st. That is our projected start lightly riding under saddle time. So that's going to be, obviously not working on maneuvers, just rehabbing him back, which doing correctly after having so many months off is going to obviously take some time. So by the time we get up to that point, we'll have had some other visits with my local vet and have an idea of what we're looking at. And of course, that's projected. So he might tell us, hey, I'm not ready. And we're just going to have to, adjust accordingly with that information. So all in all, that's the news. We're back home. I'm really happy that we got the prognosis that we did, of course, and I'm really happy that I went through with doing this. It took me 4 days to really think about it and sleep on it, and then finally say, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and do it. So I hope that this was informative and entertaining for you, and if you've enjoyed following Whizkey and I along in our other more fun adventures. I know this isn't super exciting, but this is real life having horses. So that's part of why I do all these videos, is to document my own experiences. And I always hope that there's something in here for other people to gain something from. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in another video.